Most of us learn a very specific version of American history. It usually starts with a ship crossing the Atlantic in the late 15th century, aiming for a continent covered in pristine, untouched wilderness. But if you look near the center of that supposedly empty landmass, hundreds of years before those ships arrived, you would find something entirely different. A massive, highly organized urban center. This is Cahokia. Located near the Mississippi River, it consists of a series of massive earthen mounds that still mark the landscape 1,000 years after they were built. This chart compares the timeline of Cahokia's population growth with major medieval European cities. Right around the year 1050 CE, you can see Cahokia's population spike dramatically, quickly expanding to house up to 20,000 people. At that moment in history, it rivaled the size of London. A population that dense requires heavy infrastructure. This central hub acted as the political, religious, and economic engine driving a vast civilization that stretched across the region. The existence of this urban center contradicts the image of a sparse, unorganized wilderness. Instead, it places a complex city at the center of the American story, centuries before the first European arrival. Sustaining tens of thousands of residents meant utilizing the surrounding plains. Agricultural villages dotted this landscape, constantly feeding the urban core with crops. At the center stands Monks Mound, the epicenter where the city's leadership operated. This largest prehistoric earthen monument in North America was constructed entirely by hand, workers carrying millions of baskets of earth to form its terraced layers and central staircase. At the base of these massive earthworks, the city hummed with daily life. Large open plazas were packed with constant economic exchange and bustling markets. We know they had a massive reach because archaeologists keep finding materials that don't belong in the Mississippi Valley. Traders were hauling in valuable resources from hundreds of miles away, leaving behind artifacts like these intricate copper plates. Local craftsmen used imported stones, shells, and metals to manufacture tools and ceremonial jewelry, forging a distinct cultural identity visible in every carved detail. You don't build monuments this large or establish trade routes this long for a temporary camp. Cahokia was a permanent, highly structured economic capital. While Cahokians reshaped the earth, they also mapped the sky, using precise observations to track the celestial movements above them. This schematic shows Woodhenge. The Cahokians placed massive wooden posts in a ring to track the sun. As the year progresses, the sun aligns with specific posts during the summer and winter solstices and the spring and fall equinoxes. They used this astronomical data to manage the agricultural cycles, keeping the city fed, and to synchronize civilization-wide religious ceremonies. Building a functional solar calendar requires generations of meticulous data collection. It places Cahokia firmly among the ranks of other major global civilizations that used the heavens to organize their societies. Despite all that structural and scientific success, the city eventually fell quiet. By the end of the 13th century, the metropolis was slowly abandoned. After decades of modern excavations, the exact reason for this collapse remains one of the greatest archaeological mysteries in North America. Researchers are still weighing several competing theories. The city could have been destabilized by sudden climate shifts, causing massive flooding. It might be local resource depletion, internal political collapse, or a deadly outbreak of disease. But an empty city does not mean an extinct people. The physical infrastructure declined, but the civilization itself did not simply vanish. The residents packed up and dispersed. They carried their agricultural knowledge and cultural traditions with them, continuing to thrive and build new communities throughout the Mississippi Valley. The massive mounds still standing in Illinois today leave no room for doubt. Ancient America was never an untamed, empty wilderness. It was a land of complex, innovative people who built towering metropolises of their own.